get it. I think I got it just in time.
You got it, and you got it, and you got it. Good morning, Mr. Burgio.
Good morning, Mr. Novak. We are talking about the myths. Well, not over the myths, just setting the record straight for selling process, on market, off market, pre-market.
Where did it come from?
Yeah, the terminology gets thrown around so often. I don't think anyone knows it now. Okay, I've got your audio here. Let's make sure.
You know what's incredible, guys? The agent long time. Now I'm seeing a bucket load of pre-market, off-market, pre-portal, all this stuff out there in the marketplace advertised by real estate agents. And we thought we just wanted to explain to the community exactly what it actually means. Is it good? Is it bad? Who's it good for? Who's it bad for? Why is the market doing it? Like, why the hell is the marketplace doing pre-market and off-market and stuff like that? Over to you.
Yeah.
Burge.
Welcome to episode 212, where we're going to discuss pre-market, off-market, and then on-market. What's the difference? So I think the big difference, and I'll say what they are in brief, and then we'll expand. So off-market is generally an owner who doesn't plan to go to realestate.com. They would sell, they're happy where they are. They haven't necessarily bought somewhere else or looking. So that's it. But if you have that one buyer, they would sell at the price they're happy with, which means they could stay at that property.
So, for example, like I come and door knock your home and say, mate, a house is worth 800 grand. Would you sell it for $1 million? And then you go, well, yeah, I've got a buyer that'll actually pay that. Do you mind if I take him through? That's completely off market. And this is, I must admit, even people in the industry get this confused. That is completely off market, off the radar, no deal. No, you're not going to see it on realestate.com a week later. It's just like it's a match that...
It's a quiet deal. It's an off-market deal. That's what it is. Okay, and then pre-market. Now, pre-market is generally, they're selling. They may not be selling as quick, or they can be looking for a quick sale, or they are definitely moving to a second location. They may have already bought, but they're generally not up for the auction campaign or the big marketing straight away. Either that could be determined by finances, or they just don't want to have their home open. So they go to an agent. You've sold a lot in the area. You must have a lot of those hot buyers through the other listings. Can you bring them through before we go to realestate.com, my domain? They are selling, and they will go to the portals if a deal isn't brokered prior. That's the big difference.
Now, just so everyone understands, what we call in the industry as a portal is realestate.com.au, is domain.com.au. Effectively now, socials are becoming another form of a portal in a way. Social medias. So portals are that, the tool the agent will use, often digital.
Yes. Luke's on the back of Lisa. This is on the back of Lisa's video yesterday. We thought we'd just expand on that as well for everyone who didn't see it.
Our show gets a lot more viewers, so we thought we better go global, international reach with our show.
Expand. I think the big thing is just what we said before, Mike. The big thing is the psychology behind the seller of both of those situations. The off-market seller has not decided to move. They're toying with the idea.
Where did it come from? Why did we not see off-market, pre-market traditionally over the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years? Why has it suddenly come out as a term that's being advertised lately?
One, I think agents are more hungry for deals now. So they're like, think about it this way. If you were a relaxed agent, you're only going to deal with sellers who are ready, want to do it all. How easy is that? You're a seller, full campaign, auction, bang. But there's more agents out there there's a lot of agents out there. So I reckon it's more of an expanded reach. So instead of dealing with, let's say, your A-grade sellers who are on the market, shebang, open, there's 15 grand marketing. Let's call them the A's. A lot of agents probably previously were only dealing with them. But then it was like, there's not enough of them. So let's find more deals. So then let's go find the B sellers who are toying with the idea. I reckon, one, agents are more hungry, and also sellers, you're capturing them early as well. So I reckon there's a bit of both in there.
And also, I think media's changed. Like, where we didn't have the tools to innocently market a property well. So when previously we had to put a signboard. Previously, we had to go onto realestate.com. Now, if it was going on realestate.com, the photos better be good or you're going to look stupid. The digital database, the email database wasn't as good. The record keeping, from that digital database has become awesome. So it's quite rapid fire now that there's actually a lot of power in an agent's hand.
Yep.
With a digital database, with SMS technology, with instant media, that they can actually fire off without doing the palaver of styling a property and professional photo shoot. So much so that sellers now acknowledge and accept that raw photography, with an iPhone, and not only that, the mobile phones have stepped up in their technology, that it's put into the hand of a real estate agent, technology to be able to, literally into the hand, to be able to launch out to the marketplace rapidly, same day. Whereas before, a week or two to get it on the market. That's why I think pre-market licenses the agent to use shit photos, because the industry, the market knows that, okay, well, this is only going to be done for a short time. Then they're probably going to go pro.
Yeah, and just to expand on that, and Luke, I know Luke's made dangerous territory, but I think another big thing with that as well is the push for buyers. Buyers agents really want pre-market opportunities, and a lot of buyers want pre-market because there is a lot of competition when you have those sellers on the market. So I think a combination of what you've said, Mark, as well, and a push by buyers. If you've seen where Lisa got such strong momentum, it wasn't necessarily from the sellers, but it started with the sellers just saying, I'm sick of doing it the way everyone else is saying, where's another option, rather than the 5, 10, 15 grand campaign. It was also the buyers and the buyer agents all pushing to do deals off market or pre-market as well. So it's been a push from both.
And
look, you, Luke. I got you, Luke.
Sometimes, what's Luke saying? It's going to be sharp and it's going to be good. What is it?
Yeah, he's like, he goes, be careful, dangerous territory. I think that's when I was counting something out. I like the exclusive pre-market buyers because of buyers agents. We promote you. And then I responded saying, I've got you. And that's where I got you, Luke. Pre-market is being a big push by buyers agents for those deals. So. Yeah,
it is definitely. And look, I think I thought Luke was going down the drain pipe of realestate.com and domain.com.au, because these guys really cornered the market. They really owned. So they owned that it was really the majority of way prospective purchasers found properties. So then they started leveraging their prices from free to go onto the internet. The agent paid $1,000 or $2,000 a month and could list as many properties as he wanted for sale or for rent.
Yeah, went to $2,000 property.
So they converted that model to a user pay system where if you want to have your house for sale in DY, for instance, $2,250 up to $4,000 is what you would have to pay to get your property advertised, one property. So I think what then has happened is also from the top down, you've had Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I call it Phil, F-I-L, you've had Phil come in, and Phil's come in and said, "Hey, dude, yeah, we're free." And it's almost like it's the same way realestate.com did it, but on an international, a truly international scale with volume. Like the amount of followers that we get from California and out of the UK is incredible. So, we couldn't have had that reach on realestate.com.au by no means.
And we've got Lisa on, so that's great. We're doing expansion on what your video was yesterday because we have more viewers. Mark said, quote. I want to cover what Lisa's just said because I was speaking to Mark off air with it. There's been some rumor. This is what Lisa said. There's been some rumors that pre-market sells cheaper.
Is Lisa trying to get in on there? Is Lisa trying to get in on it now?
Yeah, okay. Sell cheaper than pre-portals. Nonsense. Why would vendors sell cheaper pre-market? So what I said to Mark before, so pre-market, when you look at it, if you're an agent who has been doing deals in an area, and let's say those properties have come from realestate.com, you have those hot buyers already on your database. Keep in mind, pre-market is buyers on your database compared to going, and normally the first week, when I look at a pre-market, say if we're dealing with 10 buyers, we'll have 10 or 15 hot buyers. Then you look at when you go to your first week of realestate.com, you may get 25 people at the open, but the 10 or 15 hot buyers come to that. So you've already got the hot buyers who are looking and very knowledgeable about the area. So the nonsense of selling it cheaper or not having the reach of all buyers, like I get if you don't market on all portals, you don't have 100% of the market. But keep in mind, if you are an agent doing deals in that area already, you have the hot buyers because they're this, if you list, and we all know it, if you have 3 properties the same or similar houses between 1.2 and 1.5, those hot buyers are all coming to them. So then to get another house pre-market saying, well, let me bring all those buyers to your property, they generally pay more or pay what the owner wants. And keep in mind, a deal is not done unless the owner's happy. So the myth of selling it cheap, you don't know shit until you've had buyers through. There's properties we've had. Yep.
Absolutely. Sorry, go ahead.
No, so there's properties we've had where you think it's worth something and you get the 10 buyers through and it undercuts it. And there's properties that you think it's worth X and it goes above. Like there's always that happy medium, but it all comes down to have a sale, you need a buyer willing to pay it and a vendor willing to sell it. End of story.
It is. And look, a big thing that I feel really passionate about in business is a saying, perception is the art of war. What's that guy's name that says it? TSU or something. Anyway, perception is the art of war.
Yeah.
And often I think, good packaging in a product like an Apple iPhone is creating perception. Packaging is perception, packaging is marketing, but really perception is the art of war. Now, when you have got something off market, a prospective purchaser can perceive a value by buying it before anyone else can buy it.
I think it's Sun Tzu who you're quoting, Andrew.
That's him. That's him.
Thank you, Andrew.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes,
from
that's
Queensland.
him.
We appreciate you watching. Sun Tzu.
You
I think I pronounced it right.
Now, off-market or pre-market, when used correctly, can create the perception of value for a prospective purchaser. So much perception that they may actually pay more for the privilege.
Yes. Because like if you go back to that psychology of off-market, is someone who doesn't plan on selling, it has to be a juicy offer for them to consider it because there's no motivation to do it. And then a pre-market, they're planning to go to the portal and they're planning to go on the opens where there could be 10, 20, 30 people there. And you use that virtually as FOMO, as Luke says, to that buyer and say, mate, let's say you're guiding 1.7. You go, we're going to go to realestate.com next week and have 30 buyers come through. Do you want to offer more than 1.7? He goes, well, I'll offer one. Like you use that perception and that FOMO of they've missed out on so many properties on realestate.com. A lot of the time they'll come to you and go, all right, we'll offer 1.825. Like well above or the higher end of the range, and the owner is stoked. It's that
Yeah.
FOMO of having like used
Huge.
correctly, and that's the biggest thing. It's trusting
Now-
the agent, because we've had times, Mark, where we've done pre-market and the offers aren't there, and we feel we can get more, so we push the owner to realestate.com. And then there's times where we get a really good offer and the owner has that fear of, and the owner has the fear going, could I get more if I go to realestate.com? And we go, on our experience of the last house, your house is not as good and you got 100 grand more. Let's not go to the open market, because when that buyer who made the higher offer sees no one else offering, you're gone. So it works both ways. You have to have a good agent and trust the agent is the biggest thing.
You have to. Now, another big thing in business that we've learned, particularly through COVID, we spoke about it yesterday, was convenience. So with pre-market and off-market, if you're adding the perceived value, that perception that I'm talking about, and if you're adding convenience to that, that's a pretty compelling argument.
On this.
Yeah. So, it's for a prospective purchaser to not have to go and go through 50 people at an open house and not even be able to speak to the real estate agent one-on-one. The convenience factor to ring up and say, look, I've seen you've just advertised this. Can I come through now? The convenience factor of not having to wait 4 weeks to go to an auction can sometimes compel a prospective purchaser, again, to pay more. So the perceived value, they could pay more. The convenience, they could pay more. That's why off-market and pre-market is doing so well, because that rapid fire of social media and instant media now is creating convenience and creating that perception like never before.
Yeah, and Mark, I want to tell this, and this is probably hard for, like, the fact is some owners will actually rather a lower price with convenience and no, as Lisa says, ticker tape parade. They may have owned it for 50 years, debt-free, retiring, and let's just say, for argument's sake, you may be able to get one. Let's say you may be able to get $1 million if you go to open market, and then got a 950.
It sounds crazy, but
sounds crazy to think.
I know. We had a very sick client a couple of weeks ago, and I'm talking terminally sick.
Yeah.
It worked that when the buyer came along with that certain price, we thought we could achieve a little bit more actually. In this circumstance, very rare. In this circumstance, and the owner said, nah.
Yeah, it happens. So like when people go, underselling, that's what, but people, as you said, there's sometimes a reason behind it. And you may have a buyer ready to go, finance approved, easy, experienced buyer, and they're happy to take that rather than go to the market, have everyone through a week or two later for 50 grand. And let's face it, one, if you're terminal, which is very unfortunate, or if you've maybe got a good creation of wealth, but you want to move on, get out of property, retire, go on a cruise, go overseas. Sometimes 50 grand does not matter to you. Yeah, bought something. Sometimes 50 grand does not matter. And some people don't get it. So that's why they may choose a pre-market or an off-market sale for that convenience. And as I said, they bought something. They may have bought something 200-300 grand cheaper. So it doesn't matter if they sell for a maybe 50 grand more. And this is the thing. You never know.
I think, Michael, you talk where these guys sell less. I reckon you're talking about 5% of the circumstance, but it is a circumstance, and that circumstance can't be tailored in an auction situation for a client. They simply need to do it that way. So it's an option. Now, we are traditional real estate agents. Make no mistake, but we are also multimedia agents selling. So traditional selling, we do very, very, very well. Multimedia selling, we do exceptionally well.
We're the best.
So, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, we can offer that traditional. We're not bashing the portals. We're not bashing getting a place styled or a 4-week campaign. But fortunately, we can plate it up for a seller. Say, what do you want? What do you need?
Yep.
What works best for you? And allow us to explain all of the options, and they choose. And albeit lately, people have been gobbling it up not to do the 4-week auction campaign and to take the eternal alternative of pre-market.
Like the first question we asked Yeah, the first question we ask in AMA that we did with Lee Woodward is basically, what are your goals? What's your timeline? What's your situation? And to be honest, rarely you get, I want the highest price in the fastest time. The price, yes, it's important, but it's generally not the biggest factor. It's, okay, we've bought this. This is our timeline, da-da-da-da-da. Let's look at the bigger picture. It's just like an agent doesn't, a seller doesn't pick the cheapest agent. And like some do. And then some wait for that miracle price that sometimes doesn't happen, and then they go around in circles and they end up taking less compared to some agents pick the most expensive agent because they trust them, they've heard their circumstances, and they're tailor making the campaign around their situation. Whether it is on market straight away 4-week campaign, it may be a pre-market, and it may be an off market. I'm interested to know what a plan A and B for other, exactly. So a lot of agents, with expanding what Lisa said, a plan A, most of them only have one option. Walk into the living room, all right, realestate.com, let's do it. There's the campaign. And a lot of owners are now going, well, what do you have any other options? Do you use Facebook? Of course, they say they use Facebook. Everyone's got Facebook. But there's a big difference between using Facebook and using Facebook. And all you got to do is look at their page, the interaction, the post. Like, if you're only posting once a week, you're not going to get the same traction as Lisa does 10 times a day. Big difference.
Can I explain it another way as well, so it's crystal clear to people?
Certainly,
on selecting a real estate agent. You've got Channel 9 and you've got Channel 8. It's all television. It's all Facebook. Okay? Channel 8 has no content on it. I would never go to Channel 8 because there's no content. Channel 9 has the best content. So when I turn the television on, I naturally turn it to Channel 9. Instant media is the same. LinkedIn, Facebook. And so when an agent says, I can do pre-portal for you, I can do not on realestate.com, ask yourself the question, turn to their channel and have a look at the content that they've been producing and the success that they've been producing on their television channel of Facebook or their television channel of Insta. And I can guarantee you won't even find anywhere near the amount of good content, quality content that people have interacted with and audiences that they've built than any of our reps at Novak.
And a big thing is, hopefully Lisa doesn't mind me sharing it, but all you've got to do is ask the agent who says they use Facebook, go, show me your analytics. Even you look at Lisa's, what is getting now, say 40, 50, 60,000 a week, even compared to mine is what, 10,000. She's got more people. So who would you want to list with? But I know
that's
that
the television channel.
That's the television channel. And I know a lot of people who don't use it have 100, 5. So it's powerful to build that up. And even if you look at the growth we've had, that took a while to build that. I know there was a stage where Lisa Novak, it was getting 45,000 a month or 50, 60 a month. Now it's getting that in a week. There's a big difference.
So much interaction.
And all you got to do is ask the agent. It's like saying, you know, that saying Michael Edwards had, it's like when the tide goes out, you see he's swimming naked. It's like that with Facebook. Show us your analytics.
Show us your analytics.
Show us your analytics. Show me how many people. Show me how you use Facebook, and they'll bring it up, and it'll be like 100 or 5 or not at all. And then you know they don't use social.
All right, so we cleared it all up for everyone out there.
I think it's a good topic.
The difference between off-market, pre-portal, and the difference between traditional selling with auctions and stuff like that. I think we've covered that good. Now, I just want to quickly mention, look what I have behind me today.
If you're watching on Facebook.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching on Facebook,
I'll turn it around.
We now. Oh, look at that. If you're watching on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen.
That's true media skill.
That's true. That's multimedia skill. Now we're offering our sellers and our tenants and prospective buyers storage and trailer for anyone who's renting or selling through Novak. So it's another new channel to help people out in what they've got to do with moving property.
That helps with the live mode, sell mode theory when selling process. If you're on Insta, look at all the comments, jump on. It's really good.
Boom.
Live mode, sell mode. big difference. We could do a topic on that. Anything else you want to talk about? Or are we good? It's pretty good.
Have a great day, everyone. Enjoy. Hopefully we helped you out, Michael. Thank you so much.
Yes, not a problem. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Speak soon.